97.3. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let Citi relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Yeah. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Yeah. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the traffic.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight I'm here with
Akusia Oche.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
In 2018, excess generation capacity contracted under take or pay PPAs cost the government 320 million in capacity charges.
Is Ghana paying for power that it is not using? And is that part of the reasons the country's economy is in a mess? The majority side in Parliament is thinking so. We have the debate here on Eyewitness News. Also, coming up on Eyewitness News, Ghanaian students still in Ukraine face expulsion over the non-payment of their fees by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. We'll be hearing from the students, as well as a possible response from the government. And later on Eyewitness News, we'll take you to the the Court of Appeal, where the Opuni case is taking yet another twist of many twists that has taken over the period. Stay with 97.3 CTFM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
the Bank of Ghana cautions the public against engaging over 90 illegal loan apps in the country.
That's in 50 minutes from the business desk of Citi FM and Citi TV. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations and across the globe on citynewsroom.com. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on citynewsroom.com. On a number of affiliates, Eagle FM 94.1 in Wale, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura, Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu, Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi, Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe, Akpini Radio 96.7 in Pando, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Hames Radio 106.5 in Goso, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. We are also on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM, all of them in Takrady. The number to send your message to, if you have reactions to the stories we're bringing you, is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. You can go on Twitter and drop a message. The WhatsApp number is 0549 986 996. On Twitter, the hashtag is Citi Newsroom. Tweet at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And the first one has to do with the energy sector of Ghana, the power sector specifically. The Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, the chairperson at least, has described power purchase agreements signed by the Mahama-led government as an unconscionable bargain. The committee says the SWAL administration signed onto 43 take-or-pay power purchase agreements for which the current government has been compelled to pay over $320 million in 2018 for unused power charges. Addressing the media, Chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee, Samuel Atachia, says although the government has cancelled 11 of the contracts, the hasty decisions taken by the previous administration has had a debilitating impact on the energy sector.
Cold facts. They can't be MPP facts. They are cold facts. The dollar is not generated by MPP. So when you have a dollar debt that you are paying, it is referable to a contract. And everybody who is interested can look at the contract and the consequential arithmetic about the contract and what you have to pay. So that is what it is. So this will be my preface. And I decided that I should try and find some information from the Ministry of Energy, because as you know, there was a huge controversy concerning what my very good friend, Honorable Jinapo, said when the World Bank Country Director, Mr. Laporte, dilated on Ghana's energy sector. And this is what I scooped from the Ministry of Energy, which is consistent with the independent thinking of IEA and the rest of them. So I want to project a few things that you can always verify from the Ministry of Energy as well. You know, there was this whole issue about comparative analysis of electricity tariffs in ECOWAS member states to give an impression that tariffs are so high, the rest of it. On the issue relating to tariffs in ECOWAS member states, we wish to state that the study under reference was conducted in 2017 and published in 2019, and most of the countries in the study are hydro-dependent. That means they use like the Akosomo type of power generation. Over the past 5 years, thermal energy has taken over hydro generation in Ghana because the Akosomo power generation was not enough to meet the growing energy needs of this country. Thermal generation, therefore, is expensive due to cost of fuel and exchange rate dynamics, among others.
That's Chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Honorable Samuel Atachia, who is MP for Ebuakwa South. He's actually joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Before you join us, I was playing the soundbite from your press conference there. You sought to clarify a study that was, okay, not clarify, but shed more light on a report that was, or a study that was conducted in the West Africa sub-region. And you were trying to explain to us the cost of producing and selling thermal energy and hydro energy. We appear to be mostly doing hydro energy. Are you saying that we should have remained with hydro energy and not gone thermal, which is costing us more? Please help us understand what your position was. Honorable, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Great. So the question is, before you came on, we're playing a soundbite from your press conference where you were explaining what you found from a survey that was conducted from 2017 in the West Africa sub-region. You were picking issue with the use of thermal power. Are you suggesting that we should have remained on hydro and not necessarily thermal, or I did not get your point clearly?
Yes, I was saying that it's cheaper to use hydro for obvious reasons. You wouldn't need the kind of fuel to power hydro as we do in relating to thermal. But the whole point of the matter is that it is now found that we need a mix, because the thermal generation can be unreliable because of climatic conditions. We had situations in which the volumes of water in Akosomo dam went terribly bad, and that could affect generation. So there's always a mix. So if you want to do proper comparison, then see need-based analysis, rather than you saying that, it's cheaper in some other places, where probably all that they are doing is using hydro and not thermal. This was the kind of analysis I was trying to make. So wherever you use thermal, it is the price is higher than when you use hydro. So sometimes it's not be a good comparison to say that the tariffs in some places are higher than others and cheaper than others, and you don't give the underlying factors. The underlying factors will be, what kind of generation are you talking about? Is it hydro, a mix of it, or just thermal? That is where you have the price differential.
Okay, let's go broadly now into the main issue. So you complain about the power purchase agreements that were signed by the Mahama administration. The World Bank country director spoke last week or so, and he said that Ghana was reeling under the effect of the power purchase agreements. The NDC has categorically denied that, and even went at length to say that the country director was engaging in local politics to satisfy his own politics back home where he comes from. What are the key power purchase agreements that you are saying now have become a burden on the taxpayer?
Well, the ones that are running, even Ameri is one of them. Asogle is yet another. And the rest of them. You see, when we talk like that, at least my because you cannot change the facts. These are cold facts that if you even pay regard to what the Energy for Growth Hub and the IEA put together, it is conclusive of the fact that the power generation through this take or pay will be very, very, very pernicious in effect. So far as the finance of this nation is concerned, if you had a space, I could quote you some figures for you to see.
Please do, because I would want to, and again, while you quote the figure, I'll be happy if you can quote them. And also, beyond Ameri and Asogli, which other power plants are a problem for us? And if you could give me specific figures to support this claim, I would be grateful.
Okay. So, for example, let me give a quote from the IEA report, which is dated the 15th day of March 2021. The page number 3, I quote: in 2018, excess generation capacity contracted under take or pay PPAs cost the government 320 million in capacity charges, estimated to increase to 620 million annually with the addition of new plants in 2019. These unused supply charges are one of the most significant sources of financial strain on the sector. Cumulative net sector debt was 2.7 billion in 2018, with 30% payable to the private sector. This sum is equivalent to 33% of the government's 2018 tax revenue, highlighting the scale of the financial burden. Please, these are cold print. These are in cold print, and it's not an MPP generated figures. These are even think tanks of international consequence who are not wearing party colors. They are turning out the figures. And what is the point of the matter then? Because sometimes it becomes like, are we doing propaganda with the energy sector? We shouldn't do propaganda with the energy sector. And in the first conference, I made it so clear that as oxygen is to the body, so is energy to the economy. So when you see people trying to do propaganda with the energy sector, at least much should be started.
So currently, how much are we paying as a state for power that we are not using?
Well, I cannot say it on top of my head, but it can always be ascertained. So I was just trying to give you the research so far, because I wanted to talk based on what has been ascertained. I cannot tell you, what is being paid for now, but we can always find out.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
are there, out of the 53, are there power companies that we currently have a contract with which you would describe as superfluous or useless?
Well, I have some projections here. If you look at, it's not only the take or pay. Let me maybe I explain a few of them. There's a Sono Asogli Power Company. It has two of them. The Car Power Ghana Limited, AXA, which is now ended, and they have renegotiated. Then Power Generation Company, Amandi, and then Main Energy Solar, and then Senate Energy Limited, and then Early Power Limited, PSC Company Limited, and then we have another one, Sofistana Company Limited, and the rest of them. They are all listed here.
Yes, and what about them? What are you saying about them? Are you saying that all of them are totally unnecessary and a waste to the country? Is that what you mean?
Yes, they are all take or pay. That is what we have. If you install the machine, but you are not using the energy, you pay. That is the essence of the take or pay.
Take or pay means whether or not you use the power, you have to pay the company, correct?
Yeah, that is so.
And we are using we are using the power, are we not? Are you suggesting that there is excess power in these plants that we are neither using or exporting to neighbors?
Yes, that is what the Ministry of Energy is saying, that we have excess capacity.
But it's interesting that Mahama government leaves behind these power purchase agreements, which you have described as excess capacity, and yet one of the key major things you did, or one of the key things you did in the power sector when you came into office, was to extend the car power deal, where you even asked for the vessel to be replaced with a bigger vessel from Turkey. Can you really explain to us then how you decide to extend a contract, and yet, and for instance, Ameri, you went to do the innovation deal in Parliament. This is something that you complained about, and yet you are keeping it on the books. How do you say that these are unnecessary, and yet you still have them, and even extending their contracts?
Well, you wouldn't know the strategic significance of you keeping some of the IPPs, for the simple reason that 11 of them were sort of abrogated when MPP came into power. Some of them were kept for strategic reasons. And that, I want to stress that as so important, because if you cancelled every PPA, what was going to happen is that we would have reverted to do so.
So then why are you blaming something that has become a savior for you? For which reason? So this is like an admission that we are not in doomsday because of the power purchase agreements that Mahama signed. How then are you turning around to blame him for the plans that he has brought, which has led to stability in the sector? I want to understand.
I want you to understand one hard fact, that whatever Mahama created has very serious financial implications for the country. I don't think anybody can run away from that. And therefore, if you got another pair of hands and they looked at the contract and they used skill and understanding so that it doesn't become very pernicious for the rest of this country, you think is a useless engagement. So what are you going to do about the rest of them? Now we have a whole situation in which will be swallowed by judgment and the rest of them. So when we inherit a trouble, the way you manage the trouble is also part of your work as a government. We couldn't have said that because Mahama has created problems for the succeeding government, then we're just going to misbehave. And then there will be such a debt overhang or judgment debt, and we can't handle it. So some of them, we decided to negotiate onto good work. For example, this AXA that you are talking about, it's been properly negotiated, hasn't it? It's not take and pay. So they moved from the take or pay under Mahama, and then the renegotiation is now take and pay, which is also one of the best way of relieving the serious effects of payment.
All right. All right. Now, Mahama's Minister for Power was Dr. Kwabena Donko. He had to leave office in relation to problems in the sector. The man who was his deputy at the time almost became like the de facto minister at the ministry, John Jinapor. He has joined us for an intervention. I don't know if you have some time to just listen to him and possibly rebut afterwards, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Great. Let me go to the other phone lines. John Abdullah Jinapor is member of parliament for Yape Kusau. He's member of the Energy Committee. Honorable, you've just heard your chairman there of your committee, Honorable Atachia, explain how we are losing some $320 million due to excess capacity that you have signed in all those power purchase agreements that you engaged in when you were in government. What will be your response, having heard the issues he's raised?
Thank you very much. I'm listening to Chairman and I'm wondering whether, anyway, I don't want to sound offensive. But first of all, he mentions 43 take or pay agreements. Is that not it?
Yes.
He's specific. He says in 2008 specific. He says 320 million. He's specific. Has he provided with the 43 agreements that he's talking about?
He has mentioned a number of them: Ameri, Asogli, Car Power, AXA, Send, Amandi, Senate, Early Power, PSC, Safisana.
Senate was not signed by Mahama. Asogli was not signed by Mahama. Send Power was signed by Mahama. Trojan was not signed by Mahama. So the first thing you do is to give the 43. I mean, this is simple analogy. You call Peace FM, you make a claim, you say 43, give them the 43. I'm sure listeners will just say that, look, this request I'm making of Chairman is basic. Because you call the media and you say, look, the man signed 43 PPA, and that in 2018, these 43 agreements. Pardon?
Okay, Honorable Tacha, you're not on the air.
I have a lot to deal with, Chairman. Just hold on.
Yeah, so if you could just kindly listen to him, I'll come back to you.
And these things, I wouldn't allow them to go like that. I've just issued a formal response because I read the Citi FM story that even says that you spoke on behalf of the committee. First of all, I debunked that it's not a committee. So I've been speaking on behalf of the minority. No, I'm saying the story. I'm responding to a story. So I've issued a statement. But that is one. Two is that, Moro, I refer you, and you see, these things, it's not about what you say, it's the document. I refer you to the 2019 Energy Statistics document published by the Energy Commission, page 7, table 301, installed grid electricity generation capacity, end of December 2018. I specifically took that document, and I keep this document. 2 thermal plants, only two, Car Power and Ameri, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 thermal plants. Even his 43 doesn't even come in. Total from independence to date. Total thermal plants that were in the system as at December 2018 were not even up to 20. To install the plant, declare availability. So that when we say, even though you are available, we cannot take it, then you say, look, I went for a loan. If you can't take it, give me something which is capital recovery. That's what we call excess capacity, or others call it take or pay. So how can you have about 15 thermal plants in total in the system? Installed though, not even dependable, and not available. And yet you are quoting 43. And I will send you this document. This document makes, excuse my language, nonsense of this whole 43. I don't know where you got the 43 from.
Okay, let's hear him. I think it's fair to hear him. Let's hear him to respond directly to that, and you can respond to other issues.
You pay regard to the IEA Ghana and Energy for Growth App document, which was, generated on the 16th day of March 2021. This is what it says about the power PPAs. Listen, I'm quoting from page 2. During the 2011-2016 power crisis, ECG committed to 43 PPAs, while the Ministry of Energy signed 3 additional PPAs with EPP. So this is a false document, you understand? And then we educated that when the NPP came into power, some of these contracts were terminated. But what is very important that I wish that, with all respect to you, I want to address, is what has been put in the public domain by the ministry as to the excess capacity charge payment. And I beg you to quote, on the issue of idle capacity, between 2017 and 2020, the annual cost of idle capacity ranged between 105.4 million and 375.7 million per year. Over the period, the total amount of 368 million have been paid for idle capacities, and a further 600 million have been paid for the cost of reserve margins, totaling US dollars 968 million. So what do you make of this? Idle capacity.
Okay, so Honorable Tacha, I'll let him speak on the idle capacity bit and how the government intended to deal with that issue. But on the specific issue he asked you, the 43 power purchase agreement, he says it was not 43, and he wants you to list them if you may. Do you have that readily available to list for him?
No, I don't have it. I'm quoting the source document and the period where ECG signed on that level of PPA. That's what I'm quoting from. I'll be very candid with you. I'm quoting from the IEA Ghana and with Energy for Growth Hub collaboration.
All right.
Yes.
Let me, Honorable General, that should satisfy it then. He has given you the source document. He's not just saying the figures off his head. He says he has a reference document he's referring to. You can proceed based on that and also then explain about the excess power.
Hello.
Honorable General, yes. Did you hear what I said?
Fortunately, I didn't hear, Chairman, but if you can just paraphrase it for me, I'll deal with it.
He says that he was not listing those companies. You asked him to mention the 43. He says he was sourcing it on the IEA document, which he believes is public information that he has relied on. So he's not going to readily list every company out the 43 for
IEA.
you. I believe that's what he
mentioned. But the most authentic organization is the Energy Commission, not the IEA. The IEA, what do they know about?
Let me just get the name of the company properly from him. Honorable Atachia, what exactly is the source document? If you could just say that again. Honorable Atachia, can you hear me? Yes,
I can hear you now, sir.
Your reference is to which organization?
Is the collaboration between the Energy for Growth Hub of Washington, D.C., a think tank, and our own Institute of Economic Affairs, Accra.
And he says that, but have you checked Energy Commission or Ministry of Energy or Electricity Company of Ghana? Have they given any such information?
We have not debunked it. These are documents aside from the Ministry of Energy.
All right.
That is the whole point of the matter.
Okay. Let me then give it back. He wanted to know the source. Honorable Jinapo, he's referencing Energy for Growth Hub and IEA. They did a collaborative work, which is what he is referencing.
Is that the documents from which institution?
Energy for Growth Hub, and then
which institution is that?
And he said it's American based, and then the Institute of Economic Affairs.
I mean, we have our Energy Commission established by law. They are the most authentic institution that publishes energy statistics.